Peace, peace, good people. It's your good sis, Morgan Renee Myers. Oh, let me put this on mute. Morgan Renee Myers, tuning in with you all real early before I get my day started. Get my workout in, get my hydration up. Let's learn about an herb, okay? Yesterday we learned about hibiscus. So far in this book, we learned about cinnamon and a whole bunch of other ones. Let's see what the page opens us up to today. We already learned about cayenne. That was one of my first ones. I enjoy cayenne. This filter is filtering. Lord, this is why I'll be doing filters. They make you look like a whole nother person. All right, let's see. Juniper. All right, we haven't read up on juniper, so it just looks like a standard tree. Grand new day, Brother Ken. How are you? Happy Wednesday. All right. Apparently it's a full moon tonight. Great for setting intentions, getting your life, your body, your mind, your soul together, writing some things out, burning some stuff, releasing some things. These are so cute. I gotta learn how to make them longer. For people with like longer hair like myself, the short hair girls could get away with this. But okay, focus. All right, juniper. The professional name is Juniperus communis. It takes 2 years for the small fleshy fruits on a female juniper to ripen, turning as they do from green to blue-black. Almost everyone calls them berries, but botanists know they are actually cones. Juniper is an evergreen conifer, a relative of cedar and cypress. Both its branches and berries exude a resinous but refreshing cedar-like scent. Juniper was a favorite strewing herb in medieval times, scattered on floors to freshen the air and cleanse the indoor environment of infection and disease. It was also thought to possess great power to overcome evil. Burning juniper wood was a way to banish evil spirits and ward off the plague. Planting a juniper bush near a home's front entrance prevented witches from coming inside. For centuries, juniper berries have been used to flavor foods, both savory and sweet. Probably best known as the ingredient that gives gin its unique taste, juniper berries also have a long history as a medicinal herb used to treat joint pain and disorders of the urinary tract. The ancient Greeks and Romans took juniper to ease the aches and pains associated with rheumatism. Medieval herbalists used it as a remedy for all sorts of ailments, from intestinal upsets to mental disorders. Among the indigenous tribes in North America, juniper was used to treat kidney problems, urinary tract infections, muscle and joint pain, stomach upset, ulcers, wounds, high fevers, and respiratory infections. Okay, juniper. In the 1800s and 1900s, American folk medicine practitioners suggested patients chew juniper berries to relieve indigestion and stimulate appetite. Recognized for its warming, stimulating, and disinfecting properties, juniper is still used to treat many of these same common conditions. Modern herbal practitioners often suggest juniper to treat urinary tract infections and to stimulate urine production by the kidneys, but not to treat kidney infection. Juniper is also recommended externally and internally for relieving swelling, the pain of rheumatoid arthritis, and other joint pain, muscle pain, and tendinitis. Topically, the herb's essential oil has been used in treating respiratory infections, congestion, and coughs, and for stubborn skin conditions, including psoriasis. Wow. All right, so then let's give us a little timeline at the bottom. It says juniper berries used in herbal medicine are harvested from low-growing or upright forms of Juniperus communis. In 2750 BC, a coffin from Egypt's Saqqara pyramid is made of juniper and other woods. In AD 77 through 79, Pliny the Elder notes black pepper is adulterated with juniper berries. In 1660, English diarist S. Pepys Totus curing colic with spirits laced with juniper berries, aka gin. And into 1653, English herbalist N. Culpeper suggests juniper for countering poison. I gotta do some research. I don't know what gin is made out of. I don't know how these alcohols are made, to be honest. The whole distilling process. Let me move that out the way so y'all can get into these. Okay. So cute, girl. Okay, so this is what a juniper berry look like. Looking very much is giving blueberry. It ain't say nothing about being related to blueberry yet, but they look like close cousins. Okay. Okay. So the common name, junipers, blue blackberries, are actually tiny cones that nestle among the plant's prickly cedar-scented leaves. Okay, they don't look cone-shaped. They look like berries. Common name, juniper berry. Scientific name, Juniperus communis. Family, Cupressaceae. Parts used, cones or berries in the native range. People just want to be so difficult. Why you can't call them berries? They not even cone-shaped. They berries. Junipers, members of... I thought I had this on mute. Members of the genus Juniperus are trees and shrubs native to the northern hemisphere, with a range extending into the mountains of tropical Africa. Of the 50 species, most of which are aromatic, essential oil-producing woody plants, common juniper, J. communis, is the most widespread used in herbal medicine throughout its range. Common juniper can be a low shrub or a tree up to 30 feet tall with brown bark exfoliating into paper-thin strips. The wide variation in growing habits segregates juniper into 5 distinct varieties, 3 of which are North American. The leaves in whorls of 3 are evergreens, though sometimes silver and covered with a whitish film. The needle-like leaves are about 1 inch long with a single white band on the upper surface and blunt tipped to sharp pointed at the apex. The bluish black resinous globular berries, the part used in herbal traditions, is actually not a berry at all, but technically a seed cone. I gotta see one of these up close in person. They keep saying it's not a berry, but it don't look like it's shaped like a cone to me. Keep saying it's actually not a berry, it's a seed cone. Okay. So growing habits. Common juniper ranges throughout cooler regions of the northern hemisphere, especially in the northern U.S., Canada, Greenland, Iceland, and northern Europe, circling the globe through northern Asia, south to Japan. In North America, the most common and widespread variety is J. communis var. Depressa. The variety name Depressa suggests that this is a prostrate or low-growing shrub. A single plant is usually much broader than tall, spreading to about 10 feet wide, or maybe a small tree up to 30 feet tall. In much of Europe, the most common variety is typical J. communis var. communis, which was the original plant that Swedish botanist and taxonomist Carolus Linnaeus described. Herbalists from New England traveling to Europe may be surprised to learn that the dominant juniper in much of the European countryside is the same as the species growing in the New England countryside, even though the plants appear quite different in size and shape. Typically in Europe, the variety communis is more like a small tree than a broad shrub. Juniper is common in fields, farmlands, fence crows, slopes, and mountain summits throughout its very wide range. Cultivation and harvesting. Common juniper is often grown as an ornamental evergreen, particularly J. communis var. Depressa, the typical North American variety. If propagated, it strikes easily from cuttings, but it is difficult to grow from seed. That's good to know, especially if you are into growing, learning how to grow. I'm a gardener, want to be farmer, and it's good to know like which plants are easier to grow from seed and which aren't. And then like we discussed yesterday in learning about hibiscus, some plants you can propagate. Propagating is the art of being able to take a plant, cut a piece of it off, stick it in water. Once that grows roots, then you can transfer it to soil and it'll grow as a whole other new plant. Sometimes that's the best way to get a plant going because it just takes so much to start from seed. So it's good to know which plants are hard to grow that way or not. All right. So, speaking of propagating, I've been getting ahead of myself. So common juniper is often grown in an ornamental evergreen, particularly J. communis var. Depressa, the typical North American variety. If propagated, it strikes easily from cuttings, which is what I was just saying. If propagated, it strikes easily from cuttings, meaning it grows easily from the cuttings, but it is difficult to grow from seed. Juniper prefers a well-drained, poor, slightly acidic, gravelly, or rocky soil. The berries do not ripen on the plant until their second year. So the berries might come in, but you ain't gonna be able to harvest them for a whole nother year. There was some Malabar spinach, which is a tropical spinach that I grew this summer, past summer, and the berries would start to pop up, but they're green. You gotta wait till they turn purple, and so that took several months. It took like 7 to 8 months from the time they appeared on the plant for them to actually go to seed. Because if you try to pick them then, they're not ready. Interestingly, this second year maturation cycle of the so-called berries has presented an unusual conservation problem in the Balkans. Juniper is commonly harvested for the herb trade by workers in small rural villages. However, some pickers do not want others to come after them, so they harvest in the same area the following year. To undermine their competitors, the pickers break off the branchlets with the immature first year fruits to prevent their harvest the following year. Much of the world's supply of juniper berries is harvested in Eastern Europe. Then we have the therapeutic uses: urinary tract infections and bronchitis. Take any part of juniper, crush it between your fingers, and the characteristic resin smell will pour forth. While the aroma may inspire thoughts of Christmas wreaths or maybe a gin and tonic, juniper berries are the flavoring source of gin. Gin don't taste good. They keep mentioning that, but gin is disgusting. So it's not making me think juniper berries taste nice. Juniper berries are the flavoring source of gin. Juniper has also been an effective medicine for centuries. It is the berry that contains most of the medicinal compounds and is the part used to make preparations. Juniper berries contain approximately 1% of an essential oil that has been shown to be an effective antiseptic, a useful topical applied to some skin infections, and a dependable inhalant for respiratory conditions. Juniper berries have other medicinal effects as well. One of its compounds, pinene, also found in pine trees, can be mildly stimulating to respiratory tissue and act as an expectorant. The berries contain terpene alcohols that may serve as diuretics, meaning help you go to the bathroom. The German Health Commission notes that juniper can combat indigestion. In Europe, it is commonly used for urinary tract infections, possibly because of its antiseptic and diuretic properties. How to use: you can use it as an extract. Juniper berry extract, an alcohol-based liquid, is extracted from the ripe fruits. Dosage is typically 1 to 4 milliliters 3 times a day. As an essential oil, juniper berry oil is obtained by steam distilling juniper berries and is used in a mister for aromatherapy. Do not take the essential oil orally. To apply to the skin, mix 10 drops of essential oil in 1 ounce carrier oil. So let me break this down for those that may not know what that means. With all essential oils, not just juniper berry, you never want to just apply it directly to the skin. Basically, essential oils are from the extraction of plants, but then they are steeped in alcohol, and the properties that mix with it just can make it harsh on your skin. So you never want to apply it directly. That's why you want to always dilute it with a carrier oil, meaning mixing it with another oil. So an almond oil, a coconut oil, a jojoba oil, olive oil. You want to mix it with another oil. You don't need a lot. So it said 10 drops. I even think 10 might be a bit much. 10 drops mixed with a carrier oil, and then you can apply it topically. There are some essential oils that you can take orally, but I don't advise doing that either. So yeah, that's why I mentioned that. Don't take it orally, but if you're going to put it on your skin, just make sure to mix it with a carrier oil, or you'll regret it. You'll feel the burn. And then another way to use is as a capsule: 425 to 850 milligrams 3 times a day, often combined with other herbs for urinary health. And then here's some precautions. Juniper berries can be strong medicine and should not be used without checking with a healthcare provider, okay? When juniper oil or extracts are applied topically, skin irritations can develop. Do not apply undiluted to the skin. As back to that essential oil, don't do it. We are forewarning you. If you put some essential oil on your skin, bitch, you're going to burn. Don't do it. Some concerns also have been reported with the ingestion of juniper extracts acting as an abortifacient in animals. Abortifacient, the key root word is abort. All right. Oral use of these oils should be avoided during pregnancy. Juniper oils or extracts should not be used by anyone with a kidney infection or kidney disease. Okay. And then here's another picture of it. This is the berry cone. version of it, and then I guess this is when it's more dried out or something. I don't really know. Over the counter juniper juice. So a decoction of juniper is used to treat urinary tract infections. We always hear about drinking cranberry juice when you got stuff going on. This is my first time learning about juniper berries. A typical mixture is made by boiling 1 teaspoon of dried crushed juniper berries. Okay, they turn red when dried. That's why we have that picture. Okay, they turn red when dried. And 2/3 cups. Okay, a typical mixture is made by boiling 1 teaspoon of dried crushed juniper berries. They turn red when dry. In 2/3 cups of water for 5 to 10 minutes. Straining and drinking 1 to 3 times daily. To be safe, juniper should not be used more than 1 to 2 weeks. Oh, I thought I was going to say 2 times in a week. Juniper should not be used for more than 1 to 2 weeks. Okay. Well, that's it on juniper, y'all. Let me go back and show. Ooh, parsley. We have to read about you tomorrow, parsley. This is what the tree looked like. It's in the cedar family. It can be as little as a shrub, bush, and the berries are actually known as cones. So I hope we all learned something new today. Let's get our herbal knowledge up. Let's know what trees we walking past. I went to ride my bike yesterday. I be Uber driving all day, but I've been very intentional about taking self-care for myself. 2025 is my self-care year. And so because I'm sitting driving a lot, like I gotta go to the gym after I get off here. I gotta get some movement in. So yesterday was a nice day out here in Florida. I said, let me ride my bike. I ain't rode my bike around the neighborhood in a little bit. So I did that. And I'm riding past trees and I know some of them. One was my favorite is a magnolia. I seen a magnolia. Then I seen a rose bush. Then I saw another bush that I didn't know, but I see all the time. It's like the spiky bush with the red berries on it. I don't know what that is. And I think growing up we never ate the berries because we don't know. But I didn't have my phone on me because I was trying to be in the moment. Otherwise I would have took a Google photo to find out. But I saw that bush. I saw a lemon tree. I saw another fruit tree that I didn't know what the fruit was. And I was just like, I saw a pine tree. And to myself, I'm naming this stuff, but I'm like, some people wouldn't even know a magnolia tree or a pine tree or a rose bush. They might could guess that this is a rose bush if they saw it budding, but I know how I had a rose bush in my yard before, so I know kind of how it looked like from start to bloom. And I was like, wow, this is a gift. But it ain't even that it's a gift. It's studying, it's learning, it's growing, it's important to know what fruits and vegetables are around you. God forbid something happen and we in the woods or just out in nature and we gotta maintain and survive. We don't know which plants we can eat or not, and it's gonna take some trial and error and some people getting laid out to figure out, oh, that's poisonous. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in with me. And I hope y'all learning something new. Hope you get your own herb books. I have smaller herb books. I got little pocket herb books. You can find them in free libraries. In your actual library, free libraries on the street where people donate their books. In your actual library, you can find any type of herb book in a Barnes and Noble or used bookstore. Just get you a little book and breeze through it every now and then. See what you can learn. See what natural God-given things can use to heal some of the ailments or skin things or health things you got going on, because they all put here for us. So hope y'all enjoy the rest of your day. If you've already waken up and have not given thanks, drank some water, some coconut water, did some stretching, going over your goals, affirmations, did some prayers, spoke over your life before you got on this internet or got out into these streets, baby, make time to do that, because you matter. Self-care is important, and we need you to be on your A game today and to look out for those that are not. Okay.